for me, this year, my goal and my motto for the year was do it afraid. Have you ever gone on a New Year's kiss? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, not for me, or something like that. And then she kissed me. And I was like, ah, that's how it's done. Way more talented than Taylor Swift. And that's a fact.
What's the argument here?
It's just white women love. Women love women. WLW.
Kamal was white, she would have won.
Maybe. You never f***ing know. No man that cool is straight. You are kidding me.
So you're saying I'm not cool?
I think you're bisexual. If I genuinely shared my history of romantic relationships and sexual relationships, Alex Cooper, who I could love you for those 3 days and you would never hear from me again. Well, I'm telling you, those 3 days would be the best 3 days of your life, babe. Like, I like sex. Oh my God, bro. We listen and we don't judge. We judge. Welcome to Am I Too Loud, the podcast. Happy holidays, Odd fam. Hey guys, welcome back to, oh my God, what is my intro? Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, no. Whoa. Whoa. You guys.
Forgot your intro?
I forgot my intro to the podcast. Has it been that long since we recorded something? What is it? You guys, you're probably listening. You're probably telling me and I can't hear you, so I know what I'm supposed to be saying. Hey guys. Welcome back to Am I Too Loud, the podcast with Sophie, aka the Odditty. Oh my days. That's how you know your girl has too many projects going on. But that's okay because happy holidays. If you celebrate, Merry Christmas. We're supposed to have like little fun Christmas hats and stuff, but I threw them away. Don't ask me why or how. It just felt like there was an insect in the hat. So we didn't have any matching hats. We don't have anything like pretty decorative. And also, the set isn't decorated for Christmas because one, I don't celebrate Christmas, but two, Christmas is also, fun fact, my favorite holiday. And you might be asking, Sophie, if you don't celebrate Christmas, how is it your favorite holiday? Well, I don't know about you, but I love Christmas. Like, it's just like, 'tis the season. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is so excited. It reminds me of Ramadan because I'm Muslim. And Ramadan, Donald Hell. Oh, wait. Oh, my God, you guys. Donald is here, as always. And he has a new haircut. Do we like it? Tell him we like it.
What do you guys think?
Donald cut his hair before 2025. He's trying a new look. He's trying to, like, embody that, like, producer, director, avant-garde, like, really mysterious but not really kind of vibe. And I think I like the color in him. Anyways,
who's
sidebar.
avant-garde?
Avant-garde. It's like
artist?
No. Avant-garde is like being like an outlier, like different, pushing the boundaries.
Ooh, I'm eclectic.
What did you say? Say it again.
Eclectic, right?
Fully pronounce it out loud.
Eclectic.
Yeah, Donald is eclectic. Anywho, the point is, Merry Christmas. Oh no, I forgot my point. Well, Ramadan, yeah. Ramadan, and it reminds me of Ramadan because like it just feels like everyone is so in a good mood. And I love Michael Bublé. And I just love like the gifts giving and everything like that. I just really love Christmas. Okay. I don't like the religious. It's beginning to look like that guy. Right. Like of course, like he's not the person who sang the actual like thing, but he's like do you know that deep white man? I feel like white men thrive during Christmas because of Santa Claus. Don't you think so?
I never thought about this from all the Santa Claus I've ever seen have been black.
Really? I've only ever seen white Santa
Very
Claus.
Scary. With a white beard.
Black. I wonder why, like, when black people play Santa, they don't have brown beards. Like, I feel like it makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say, essentially, is I like Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. This is officially the last episode of Am I Too Loud, the podcast. And you guys, for me, it is so insane to think about that because... Of the year. Because I feel like with the last episode we posted, we had a little scare where I was talking about kind of failing and, like, not really sure where we are going forward and all that stuff.
Just add on top of that, black doesn't go with red.
What do you mean?
Like the Santa.
That's not true. Black and red is a beautiful color. You should see Wisdom K did a video where he talked about black and red going together.
I actually did see that.
I saw that video. Exactly.
Yes.
You can't have two people with ADHD on a podcast, bro, because it's not helping.
Do you want to read that comment?
What comment?
What you sent me.
Which one?
The one that you texted me.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I got a comment yesterday. And I'm telling you, it was like the craziest comment I got. And it was basically some comment on YouTube that said, I understand you have HD. They didn't say ADHD, it said HD. I've been waiting for an apartment tour for a minute. When will you share with us? And I feel like that was just so rude because I feel like the person was trying to be so nice. For context, you guys, I also have a vlog channel. If you're listening to the podcast and you've only ever listened to me on a podcast, I have a vlog channel on YouTube. On that channel, I post about my life in New York City and chasing this big dream I have to be the next female Kevin Hart. And so that was where that comment came from. And for me, I'm like, I'm very vocal about having ADHD. And if you follow me, you know, like my brain moves 50 miles a minute, and you have to have notes when you're listening to me.
This is a clear example, by the way.
I'm telling you, because this was not the intro we
No,
planned.
they're just like, even you talking about the fact that you have ADHD is like, it's like you just glance through female Kevin Hart, like, seems like if New York is, and then
It's just like that's my brain just go da, 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 da. It's like literal flies in my brain every time. Bees, not flies. Flies are dirty. Bees are clean.
bees in the trap.
Bees in the trap. Bitches ain't and they ain't saying nothing. Under my okay, this is the last episode of 2024, and
we get to be random. We get to have
fun on this episode,
yes.
Because we're also sitting in the house when it's freezing outside. And again, following up from last week's episode, I just want to say I was wrong and you were right. And you were right goes to every single person who, when I said I was launching the podcast, told me to just film the podcast on a couch so I was comfortable. And I was just so stubborn, you guys. I was just like, I have a vision. Like, my vision was like, at the end of what I want to be in the world, I imagine myself like having a show like The Daily Show, right? And like Jon Stewart and like Stephen Colbert, like those people. And every time, if you look at the night shows, they all have a skyline background. And so when I was thinking about wanting a podcast, I was looking at my end goal. And that end goal for me was that. Like, I wanted to see myself with that kind of backdrop. I wanted to be like a correspondent of some sort. Because whenever they have the correspondents come on, they always have that green screen of like that background that's like a city background of some sort. So that's what my vision was. And I realized that I am not there yet. I will be. It is coming. I am so sure of it. That is the one thing I'm sure of in this life is I am going to be successful. And so for me, when I realized, okay, this is not the way to get to that dream. You need to be comfortable and cozy. We pulled things back in, and now our set is officially my living room in my dream city. That was not the reason. Okay, it was freezing. Weather is cold as fudge. Hey y'all. It's currently raining right now. Like, we can control a lot more inside. I just know everybody was wrong. No. Habit is like I'm always right. But everybody was right for sure. And I'm just glad I'm here because I feel a lot more comfortable, and I yap a lot more when I'm comfortable. I realize that too. Which is good. Also, I'm wearing pants. I've never worn pants, you guys. Fun fact. Like, usually I'm always wearing like jeans if I don't want to be comfortable, or like sweats. Like, I'm a sweatpants girl. But I saw this in my closet. I'm trying to not wear the same thing because people talk about how I always repeat clothes. Again, like, I'm a creature of habit. So I'm wearing something new. Everything on me right now is something that I've not worn in the last week. I'm really proud of myself for that. Shut up. That's good for me. I wear the same clothes every time I wash them.
Before.
I've never worn this at all, but the top I wore last week. This I've never actually worn before, so I'm really proud of it. I got a new watch from that was not the point of this episode, was it? Let's get into today's episode, you guys, because again, like, the podcast is this is episode what, 10? 11? 12. I did it, man. Like, I really did it. I told myself this year was the year to launch Am I Too Loud? Like, it's on my vision board here. Like, it's here. Like, I see it. Am I Too Loud? Right here. I am just so proud of me. Like, I am ridiculously proud of me. It's insane how blessed I feel to have had the opportunity to push myself in the way I have this year. I know if you're listening to this, like, it's Christmas time, it's the New Year time, everyone is like sort of like dived in about like this new year, new me energy. And I want you, if you're listening to this right now, to take a second and just breathe. We're going to do it together, Donald. You have to do it too. Okay? We're going to do a little breathe in. We're going to hold for 4, and we're going to breathe out with our mouths for 5. You ready? So, out. We'll do it again. In. Hold. Out. One more time. In. Hold. Out. we did it, y'all. Like, oh my God. We finished the freaking year. It is 2025, literally in a few days. If you're listening to this and it is already 2025, what's up? Hey, you in the future? How you doing? I feel really blessed. And I feel like this podcast is an example. And I hope you see as an example of just this little Black girl trying to figure life out and bringing you guys along for the ride. And you are seeing the real, authentic, vulnerable version of who I am every single day. Every time I show up on Mondays, when Donald comes to film the podcast, and when you guys get the episodes on Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m., it feels really special that we have this time together. It's almost 2025. And I think before we sort of sign out from the podcast and have the next podcast be in 2025 in the new year, we wanted to do a quick fun recap, right? This episode is going to be like a recap of 2024, all like the top moments from 2024 that I enjoyed. I mean, I don't know, just going to riff back and forth. This is like an episode where if you're listening to this, like, play it on in the background and do your work. Like, chill, vibe out. Like, if you have family and you're hanging out with family, put that on the TV. Y'all kiki and argue back and forth about things. If you're alone, put it in your
Because if it's
ear.
Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day, you're with your family. Like, just throw us on the TV.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for being a part of the Odd Fam in every single capacity. If you're a pod fam, that means you're listening to me on the podcast. If you're a vlog fam, because you're on the vlog with me. If you're an Odditty fam on the main YouTube channel where we just do some crazy shit. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful. We're just gonna go straight into my top moments, and I think me and Donald are gonna riff back and forth on it. You guys, January 2024, when the year started, I'm actually gonna say, should I say it? Should I say it?
Say it.
I'm gonna say it.
What are you about to say?
You don't know either.
What is it? Say it.
So I knew this year was gonna be different because let me tell you what how my new year started. Should I tell you? Okay. I had just gone through a really, 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 really crazy thing that happened to me the year before, and I was in my feelings, right? And I just needed a change. I had shaved my hair off. I didn't have hair to begin with, but I shaved it up freshly. I shaved my hair off and I had henna done for the new year. And my friend at a party, and my friend is like this huge actress, important to the story. So, a huge actress, and I remember I was at her house, I was having a good time, and that was actually my first New Year's kiss with a girl. Yeah, and I feel like that for me is why I feel like I started this year so different. Let me tell you how it happened because I want to give you guys this tea. So my new year was I just was I was in my feelings. I wasn't drinking. I'm not sure why, but I wasn't. I don't know why I wasn't drinking, but I was smoking, which is important to the story because I was like high enough, but I was having a good time. And everybody was a vibe. Music was great. I looked delicious, okay? And I remember seeing this girl, and she just was so, so pretty. And I was like, you know what? Nothing's like, I didn't know if she was like, if she liked girls too. I didn't know what was going on. And I had just gone through some crazy shit that week before. So I was feeling very, like just raw, right? And I planned for my new year to start off really strong. Like I'd done my vision board, I'd done everything. And when that happened to me, and again, I'm not sharing what happened, I was just feeling very raw. And I remember like she had her cousin or her sister with her. Her cousin was talking to me and we were hanging out. I was like, ew. I'll tell her cousin, I was like, is she single? And her cousin was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And her cousin was like, bet. That was all she said. And then her cousin disappeared. Next thing we know, the fireworks happen. It's 2025. We're standing on the balcony. And literally, you guys, she comes up to me and she's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. She's like, have you ever gone on a New Year's kiss? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, not for me, or something like that. And then she kissed me. And I was like, that's how it's done. It was really good. It was really good. Why are you nodding?
This is the first time hearing of this
Really?
story.
You've not heard of the story? I didn't tell you?
No.
What?
I knew you were going to the party.
Shoot.
But I never heard
I kept that close to my chest then.
You did.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, that's how my 2025 started.
Okay.
That's how 2025 started for me.
Where's she now?
That's a long story. She said she wanted to date someone who was more non-binary rather than very feminine. I think that's how we ended the conversation. essentially. Yeah. But that was fun. So that was how my January started, and I think it set the stage for me because if you don't know, I want to y'all know if you're listening to the podcast. One of my first episodes this year was what if I was gay, like, and me talking about my sexuality and everything like that. For me, this year, my goal and my motto for the year was do it afraid. Right? Like, me and Donald talk about this all the time. Like, I said it every single time I wanted to do something was do it afraid, because I have been so terrified of living my truth for so long. And my truth comes in different facets, whether it's like my goals in life, family, every and anything, relationships, sexuality, all of it. It was just doing it afraid, like friendships, any single thing I could think of. That was it for me. And so to start the year off feeling like I actually just acted on something that I just felt for the first time without thinking about repercussions, who might see me, who might feel a certain way, da da da. Da. It felt so freeing. And that was my energy for the rest of the year. And I feel like everything I did this year reflected that. It was just more of like a, oh, I am just owning this shit now. Like, I am owning who I am unapologetically. And I feel like it showed up in my content too. And of course, I faltered and I stuttered. Blah, blah, blah. I stumbled a bit and I got nervous. So I felt like terrified. But I have still been me this entire year. And I feel like 2025 also feels like it feels like even more of that, even more of exploring who I would be. What also happened in January was
Cat Williams.
Cat freaking Williams, you guys. I feel like it feels like such a long time ago
It doesn't
that
feel like it even
happened.
happened this year.
But y'all, Cat Williams, if you guys don't know, Cat Williams and the club Shay Shay had an interview where Cat Williams just was yapping. God dang it. Cat Williams snitched, man. He said and he said and he spoke.
I think he set the tone
for the entire
for
year.
the year.
I'm telling you, like, American media realized, holy smokes, Cat Williams literally is just opening everyone's butt. And Cat Williams doing what he did, and then the Diddy thing, we're gonna get into it, happening after in the same year, feels just very like meant to be. Like, it felt like he needed to have said what he said. So when Diddy's thing happened, we were like, oh yeah, Cat said it. Like, we already knew it was gonna happen. Like, we're sure of it. And so Cat Williams was in January. And what was like your wildest, if you remember, wildest thing from what he shared? Okay, I have to pull this up, you guys, because I know I literally just mentioned wanting to be the next female Kevin Hart. And I know Cat Williams said, literally, in 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of a sold-out Kevin Hart show. There had been a line frame or even getting a standing ovation at the comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian coming to LA and in his first year has his own sitcom, his own film? No, we've never heard of that. What do you think a plant is? He just did a documentary with Chris Rock where he shows that his old upbringing comedy was on the East Coast. So how was he here in LA at the same time? And he just goes on and on and on about like Kevin Hart being a gatekeeper, just Kevin doing all those things. And it's like, whatever. I remember like seeing all that stuff. He talked about Kanye West and his mental illness. He talked about Steve Harvey and not having a script. He talked about Ricky Smiley. Yeah, he talked about Diddy. He talked about Wanda Smith. He kept going on. One of my favorites was he talked about Michael Blackson, because Michael Blackson pisses me off. Like, I don't like Michael Blackson. Yeah, because I feel like Michael Blackson is like that comic who, like, he's one of those like, I'm from Africa, I want to scratch your, like, what is that? Don't piss me off. Like, I hate, like, oh, don't get me started.
Have you heard about his upbringing though?
Where's he from?
Like, he's from Ghana, right?
I don't know.
Where's he from?
I don't know.
He's from somewhere.
But why, if he's...
But he moved here like when he was like 9.
That's even crazy.
And then he did high school here.
That pisses
and a lot of those things that he talks about were insults that were said to him. Like the African booty scratching, like all those things.
I need us to figure out more.
And that became his identity.
Yeah, but like, I'm not trying to negate anyone's feeling, because we're going on a side tangent
so interesting.
right now. But the only insult we ever hear people say is African booty scratcher. That's it. And like, oh, you smell, you're from, go back to Africa, da 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 da. And go back. Africa is not bad though. It's not bad though. Even Michael Blackson's Africa that he's talking about, it's not bad though.
I mean, he has.
And then why is it a real African man doing a fake African accent? That man pisses me off. Anyways, that's sidebar. Well, Cat Williams happened, and on his thing with Kevin Hart, I will say it's interesting the perception of Hollywood, right? Because I'm not in Hollywood. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say my goal isn't to go to Hollywood, because I'm talking about wanting a TV show and stuff. But I would always recognize that to be successful in America, especially within Hollywood and Western culture, the Black experience can only survive in one of two ways. You're either going to be a Kevin Hart, or you're going to have to be like a Tyler Perry, right? And I don't know if that makes any sense, but the idea of like Kevin Hart being marketed to like white people and having the gates, and he's palatable to a lot of the majority of the audience, versus Tyler Perry, whose sole focus is pouring into that specific community, which is the Black community. And of course, there's always outliers because the Black experience is no monolith. But ideally, when I hear Cat Williams talking about the people he brings up, it's always interesting because I feel the frustrations. Like, you can't exist in a majority country that when you're not the majority and expect certain things to be the way you expect them to be. Like, it's just never going to work out that way. So
what do you think about what he said about Kevin Hart, though? Do you think it's true or not?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I can say, oh, Kevin is a gatekeeper, but I would not negate the fact that like he is at the forefront. Right? Like, it's the same way if I have a deal as an influencer, I have a deal with like a brand that is majorly known to work with white women or like people that don't look like me. And I'm the first person who looks like me to be in there. I'm technically now a gatekeeper. And so who I invite in, right, would have to reflect on my values and who I want. So if Kevin is going to go in and say, Kat might talk too much, but this person I can control, so you come in after me, that doesn't seem crazy to me.
Right.
It just seems like politics and corporate America and business and stuff like that. And it's unfair for sure. Is it annoying? Yes. Like we've heard like people talk about Issa Rae and how she's had to fight for certain things, like Issa Rae being on HBO Max instead of Netflix for Insecure and vice versa. Like, the dollar amount isn't in our hands, it's in white hands. Like, that's a fact.
I think it's worth considering the fact that those people, like the Kevin Harts and the Issa Rae, they also have to, they're playing an interesting game, right? So they're also trying to play it safe.
Yeah.
So they want, because if they lose that position, everybody loses.
I think there's a really cool creator on TikTok who talks a lot. Well, just in January, you guys, it's gonna be a long ass episode. Yeah. I love it. I'm excited. There's a really cool TikToker she's a Black girl who's like a witch. So random. Okay. But she talked about how, as the Black experience or in America, to push past anything in America to prove a point, to do anything, is to do things that will be illegal. Like, you cannot fight if you're not moving illegally, if you're not pushing bound, because the country itself wasn't founded on anything that was meant to support you as a person, right? And so when I always hear the discourse and I see, and it can be exhausting because it's the same dance you do over and over and over again. Another sidebar, right, is I was watching a TikTok, I don't know if you sent it to me, and someone talked about Nigerian Americans versus African Americans coming into the country. And this lady particularly said, she always hears a discourse about African Americans versus African Africans who are coming to this country, and how, there's always that bridge. And it was a white guy, I think he might have been South African though, who was saying like, well, yeah, like, actually it's not African Africans, it's Nigerian Americans who come here and who on average earn more than even the white man in America, but just a little bit less than Asian Americans if you're looking at the average median income of a Nigerian American household. And he said it's because, like, Nigerians will come in here and like you hear your parents talk about, you're gonna succeed regardless. Like, F everything else that's going on. Like, F who's at the top, F who has the money, your goal is to succeed. Versus living in a country with history of breaking you down over and over and over and over and over again. And
not having an idea of like,
you're raised and your parents, the first thing you hear is you have to be careful because this is what this is how we survive. Not live, but survive. Because the Black experience in America is to simply survive. Like, now at 2024, 2025, we are trying to live because we're getting to the point. But then we have things like Trump getting elected into office. So no, you're not living. You're still surviving. Like, I can come from as a Nigerian coming into the country and say, because I have been living. Right? And technically, I'm surviving in Nigeria. But if I come here, I'm living here. Does that make sense? Because, like, what I've learned back home, my survival is mostly based on economic security, rather than simply living
like your
life.
Actual
Life and what you're depending on. So we can unpack that in another episode. We're gonna move on to February. February is the hardest month to pronounce. The calendar. February.
Spell it.
February.
That's really good. I always fumble it.
No, just remember the R is there.
Yeah, I always miss the R.
Really?
Because it's February.
February.
Okay,
well, that word, Feb. Rihanna.
Okay.
Rihanna was in Feb.
Super Bowl.
She did. She announced her pregnancy. The most lackluster Super Bowl performance I'd ever seen.
I don't think so.
Are you a joker?
I don't think so.
First of all,
First of all, Rihanna can do no wrong. If you've ever watched Rihanna
wait, I
perform,
can't cancel my bag. I can't cancel my bag.
Okay.
Hashtag Fenty Beauty.
Okay.
Hashtag Fenty Skin. Hashtag Cyberx Fenty. Hashtag Sponsor Your Girl. Hashtag I love you down, please. This is simply me being, I don't know what I'm saying. The next few minutes of me talking about Rihanna's super performance has nothing to do with my love for the craft and the love she is and the life she lives as a businesswoman. I'm just letting you guys know, okay? Like, hashtag, you know you want me because I'm a savage. You know what I mean? Like, I know Fenty, Robin, please. Thank you so much. Rihanna's Super Bowl performance. I feel like we all expected her to like play all the hits, bring out all the people, do all the things. And I realized when she announced she was pregnant, we were all confused because I don't think anyone thought she was pregnant until she opened it. Because the discourse then was, I feel like Twitter the entire time was like, wait, we don't want to comment on a woman's body, but is she pregnant? She is pregnant. Is she pregnant? She's not pregnant. She is pregnant. Wait a minute, she's actually pregnant. That was the conversation. And then it was finally announced, like, oh yeah, she actually is pregnant. We're like, oh. And then we all were just upset. We're like, Robin, why did you come and sing for us? If you just knew, why did she agree?
I don't think the performance was that different from any other thing she has ever done.
Do you remember her? I forget the one where she was dancing with the whole
Disturbia?
party. No.
Which one?
It was like a VMA's performance. No. Rihanna is bashment. Dance hall. When she was doing work and she's performing in awards, she's a showman.
Yeah, but that's what she did this time though. She just didn't move.
No,
she never really moved. She always has her circle.
Because she was pregnant. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Not the pregnancy. I'm just gonna keep quiet. Let's move on. Let's move on. Also, what happened in February, and that's crazy because I did not realize that was this year that far into the year. Risa Tisa was in February too.
The birth
of who the did I marry?
TikTok story.
Yo, that is true. Yeah. I feel like we've done story times and we've seen like a bit.
It was never a part 1, part 2.
We've seen like get ready with me's or like, you know, go to party for like the makeup tutorial, stuff like that. But never like 72-part series, like full like 4 or 5 minute video long, maybe even 10 minutes of someone just telling their life story in such a crazy way. And fun fact, people are talking now about how it was all fake. I don't think it was true. I don't think it was fake. I think it was real. But Risa Tisa happening this year is crazy. All the way in February. And I've met her because I met her at Essence Fest with Tarte Cosmetics. She's the calmest, sweetest soul. Like, she was just quiet the entire time. And I wonder why. I was just so curious about that.
I mean, think about it. The fact that happened in February.
Yeah.
And the way her life has changed since February till now.
I know she's like she has a movie coming out about the story. I'm so, but I just don't know. I think I expected her to be louder and like a lot more like bold or out there, but she wasn't. She was very, very calm. And I remember like saying hi to her, and she just seemed very shy. Like she was surprised people recognized her, and I'm like, man, you posted so I know you. I know your life now. I know your story. Don't be obsessed. Give me more information and facts. But that was fun. That was in February. I think that was interesting. It was a 52, not 72, 52-part saga posted on TikTok, and that was interesting. All right, let's move on. March was in.
Want to skip the beef?
The beef. What was the beef?
Drake and Kendrick.
That was in March.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, don't play me. We're going to get there, Donald. Do you want to talk about the beef?
I thought that was in February.
No. So March.
I think the beef is like, when you look at it, that looks like the most important thing that happened in March. The fact that it's been March is crazy.
This woman, I forget who it was. Either Gabrielle. That's racist for me to even say this out loud.
Which part?
What I'm about to say right now. Because I should know. I think it was either Gabrielle Union, but doesn't sound right. Or
wait, what was the story?
Kelly Rowland, who was at Paris Fashion Week, Kelly Rowland. Kelly Rowland. Man.
Gabrielle Union is crazy.
I'm telling you.
They're too far apart.
Yeah. But I was like, I don't know why Gabrielle Union was coming into my head. But I was at Fashion Week, and then she
was
like,
white, one is black. How do you mistake that?
What do you mean? No, Gabrielle Union is not white.
I'm joking. Really? She's like, I'm gonna defend.
I'm like, yo, I was like, what? Brown skin girl. Anywho, about the whole like the rude attendant was on the carpet when Kelly Rowland was there, and it was a whole thing. I remember that was a thing in March. And then Beyonce dropped Cowboy Carter, and she didn't get any awards for it this year, which was crazy. Especially she got snubbed at the CMAs, Country Music Awards, for it, which is unfortunate. Cowboy Carter did really, really good, but people keep comparing Beyonce to Taylor Swift. I know you just let's talk about it because you just look at me like you want me to get it done. So we can talk about
no. I was like, even in like, because you know how like Kelly, people always like, oh, like Beyonce is like, how does she stand? Is like Beyonce is like her cousin, but like more successful and all that.
Yeah.
It's weird like you were talking about it and we're talking about her. And I thought we were going to like spend a little bit of time on her, but like we moved to Beyonce so fast. So I was like,
that makes that don't make
it
sound,
no,
don't
no,
make
no,
it
no.
sound like that.
This is just this is my brain. No,
You're
it makes
making
it sound bad.
I didn't say it. I didn't mean that like
no, right.
But I see what you're saying.
Yes.
It's like the same thing with like Call Her Daddy, right? And like Alex Cooper and Sophia, the person, was that her name?
Ooh, I saw a video talking about how on Call Her Daddy, like the old episodes, Sophia was actually the one who would like talk about all those things, and Alex would more listen. And they're talking about how like the podcast has kind of lost its sauce. But there was a girl that she brought in recently,
Haley Bechtel, who was like the crazy,
like she has her own. I think she's also on the network too, right? She has her own like crazy element too.
If y'all don't know, Call Her Daddy is a whole like podcast, one of my favorites, honestly. And you can judge me all you want for it. It's just the business ethic there is insane. Like she has Unwell University right now. It's crazy. But I brought that up because like when you think about Kelly Rowland and Beyonce and like living in someone's shadow is always gonna be such a mind for you as a person. And I wonder how like people survive that. Of course, she's her own person. She's a super talented, successful. Michelle is the same way. Like I recognize stuff like that all the time. When you see people on the internet is so annoying and so unforgiving.
So cruel.
Where like the internet will constantly have to remind you that like you're not as big of a star as somebody else. Right. I think it's just a weird thing to like have in the back of our heads all the time. Anyways, as we're talking about comparisons too, Beyonce's Cowboy Carter dropped out and people were talking about Taylor Swift and always comparing both women together. And I forget that people don't understand that, first of all, Beyonce is older, way more talented than Taylor Swift. And that's a fact. That's like discography, everything, versatile. Taylor Swift sounds exactly the same.
It's not even a question.
It's not a question.
I don't even know like what's the argument here?
So I think it's just white women love. Women love women. WLW. It's just white women.
So I get it, right? I get the...
Because I could call my manager right now and she would tell you point blank that she loves Taylor Swift more than Beyonce, which drives me crazy. I'm like, how can you manage me but think that? Right. Again, I love her to death, but it shocks me all the time when she says that. And I'm looking at her like, girl, first of all, no, that's not true. But anyway.
But it makes sense though.
Yes.
Because it's like, the connection.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly.
And they are the majority.
Because I think you get me. You're in my brain. You're right here. You get it. You get it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I hope you guys know when you listen to my podcast, when I talk about race the way I do, and I talk about whiteness and white women and white men and black women and being Nigerian and immigration, all that stuff, I never mean that from a place of negativity or anger or frustration. Yeah. I talk about it from a place of fact. Yeah. Like I am not negating anyone's experience or trying to take away from anyone's experience. I am simply telling you how it is. Right. And this is not it can be your opinion. No.
No, it's not an opinion.
It's not an opinion.
Because like fact. Taylor Swift is talented, her pen game, she's
everything. But she's also the closest person that the majority in this country can relate to. Yeah. That's what it is. It's as simple way as Kamala Harris not winning presidency. Because again, there's just no way an American, like the America we know, middle America, Alabama. Yeah. We know would vote for Kamala Harris.
Kamala was white, she would have won.
Maybe. You never know. Because again, white women and white men, it's just facts. Mm-hmm. Like to survive in a country where you're not the majority is an interesting place to be. And I always tell people, if you think this take is different, go study abroad and become a majority or a minority and see the difference. Like a white person going to India, right? Or Tokyo, whatever. Like, of course, like there's still like cultural sentiments and like power dynamics, Mm-hmm. For the most part, a majority of those countries, you would experience what it is to realize, oh, you don't have majority saying power mm-hmm. in this space. Like, think about it when, like, you think of Asian populations and now, if, an Asian girl brings home a white man, first of all, the parents are like, no, get that out of my house. Like, we don't want that for you. Like, we want you to marry an Asian because you want to continue the culture. It's that dynamic that a lot of white people here don't even think is possible until they realize their cultural norms, too. It's a whole podcast episode. So we're going to move on to Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Because I can yap for days.
I was in a car yesterday.
Okay.
With someone.
All right.
And they were like, oh, have I listened to Kendrick's album? And I was like, no. Because I don't like him. Very hot take.
You don't like Kendrick Lamar?
Nope.
You like Drake?
Yeah.
What? You do look like a man who's gonna like Drake. Let's talk about it.
No, let's actually talk about it, right?
Okay.
And like in the car, it's like, oh, the beef, oh, Drake was the one poking at Kendrick and all of that, right? This is my take.
Okay.
My take is that people see Kendrick and they see him as this innocent soul who's just a talented artist that wants to write. But I need everybody to understand that this man is trying to make money, right? How did the beef start?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
How did the beef start? There was a song called First Person Shooter.
Okay.
And in this song was J. Cole and Drake.
Yes.
And in this song, J. Cole and Drake said, me, you, and Kendrick were the big three, right? And a few moments later,
the big three, there's just Big Me?
No, so that was Kendrick in a song called Like That on Metro Boomin's album.
Okay.
Who Metro Boomin is upset at Drake.
Okay.
Because apparently Drake his girl.
The rap scene is so crazy.
It's crazy.
Tell me more.
Because now in that same album, this was a bunch of people who don't like Drake who decided to come at him.
Why?
Right now, another person on that song was Future.
Yeah.
Future is Drake's boy. But apparently, like I'm not in the rap game, right? Future is mad at Drake because Future's career has been like, of recent.
Yeah.
And Drake recently did a collab album.
I'm on that good that go hard. It's been a long time.
And Drake did a collab album with 21 Savage.
21.
And apparently that pissed certain people because like, why would you do an album? Because like, that's our thing. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You don't get it.
No, I get it. Just keep going.
References.
Oh, God.
The Drake that I've known since I was a young boy, like in Nigeria, is an artist who super talented, has always put out the best music. He's literally a pop star. He has changed the game. He has inspired so many people. The work that he does in music, off music.
So he's not a rapper.
No, he's a pop star, right? Like Drake is a pop star, right? The inspiration in like the music videos, right? Him doing a music video where he's giving out like the entire $1 million budget. All the people in his concerts, right?
Oh, I saw that.
And I think people need to understand that like music is about character, right? If a lot of people are flocking, if you're doing a show in London, 9 days sold out, you're doing a show in New York, 9 days, like one artist, to be able to do that and like people that are coming to the show, they're getting their mortgage paid off, they're getting their student loans paid off. And those are some of the things that he does in front, right? Don't talk about the things that he's doing behind the scenes. Now, Drake is not a perfect person, but there's only one artist who has been able to garner the amount. Like he's like Spotify's like highest streams. Like Drake is like Drake, right? But if you know what has happened in the past 2 years, the rap game has been dying.
It's been dying.
And the only way the rap game was able to survive was to come at Drake. And to me, I think he took it as a sport. But the only thing I don't respect about Kendrick is calling him a I think
that was crazy. That was crazy. Bringing his family into it was crazy.
That's just wrong.
No, yeah.
And to me, I'm like,
that's why Drake got upset and he's suing.
And the way Kendrick capitalized on the whole like not like us thing, it was all for the money.
It was all for the money.
This is the reason why. It's the same reason why I'm a Davido stan and not a Wizkid stan.
Okay, we're not gonna bring that up.
And I'm a Messi stan and not a Ronaldo stan. I can tell the type of person you are based off of what side, because this exists.
Okay.
Right? It's just like for us, we're on a certain side of the internet, even though certain things that we believe in, we can't speak out too much, right? Okay. But there's another side that we do online. You see that other side is Kendrick.
Period. Okay, well, Donald just gave you guys a recap of what the beef is all about. I have no knowledge of any of this. I just know
there are a lot of people that probably disagree with me.
Oh, for sure. But I think that's the discourse. Y'all meet Donald in the comments. Take my name out of this shit. Okay.
My handle is
let's go to April. TH is crazy.
Odditty.
All right, let's go to April. April had a bunch of fun things that we want to talk about. Coachella was one. I went to Coachella with my friend and a brand trip. That was fun. Like, if you've never been to Coachella, Coachella is a huge music festival, 100,000 people, maybe even more. It feels like you're packed in sardines. Like, it is dusty, it is loud, it is beautiful, it is fun, it's exciting, it's chaotic, it's stressful, and I'll do it again and again and again because of the clout. Like, it just brings a lot of clout. Like, if you dress really nice, people see you, you're posting the content. That's the fun part. And I know there's always discourse about people going to Coachella who enjoy the music versus going because you're an influencer. For sure. I'm that problem. I'm the one who's going because I'm an influencer who's going there. However, there's usually place, like I know like this year's lineup is out. Tyla is performing. Lady Gaga is headlining.
Oh shit.
So I would want to go for that because I love Gaga. Like my in high school, I was Lil Gaga. Literally, that was my like nickname. I was obsessed with her. Missy Elliott is gonna be there. Benson Boone, St. John is performing as well. See Lola Young. Wow, that's crazy. She just started blowing up too. Just Tyla is crazy. Coco and Breezy, Gibson, Charlie XCX, of course. But she's not headlining, which is interesting. Anita is performing. And Hyphen, T-Pain, thank God. Because they put T-Pain somewhere else last year and it was terrible. Well, this year. I am literally looking and I don't see any other Africans. Am I crazy? Wow, interesting. Megan Thee Stallion. Ooh, Post Malone. Okay, now I want to go. But I just like, you always try to chase all these things and then you get there and it's just going to be so chaotic. Tyler being the only African is crazy. Wow, interesting. I did not know that.
I think the Arya Star snub has to be studied.
So that's a whole different episode. So Coachella was the thing. Challengers came out as well in March, or April.
Why does it wait? So if all these things happen before in like January, February, like what has happened since then?
I'm telling you so much.
Like we're in December.
12 months is a long time for crazy shit, and that also 30 to 31 days, sometimes 29 days. Crazy, because all of this is not even like I know I'm missing. So
I haven't seen the Challengers movie.
Okay, it is like about 3 hours. I saw it twice.
Okay, so there's a reason why I didn't see it.
Why didn't you see it?
I heard that like when you watch the trailer, there's certain things that happen between like her and like the two guys. I personally don't want to see Zendaya in that light. I'm not interested. No, I'm not.
I think we need to get used to the fact that she's a grown woman now. But it wasn't too sexy though.
It doesn't matter.
It was very like the movie. I watched it. I loved it. When I first watched it, I really liked it. Huh?
Because you're the crazy extreme. To you saying like, oh, it wasn't so extreme. I've seen
the things I like.
Christian, like very close people. And I've seen their reaction. They're afraid. It scared them. It shocked them.
It was just two men kissing.
Oh no, not that though.
No, I'm telling you that's exactly what it was. The entire movie is just they were basically having a threesome, and then she got married to one. Spoiler alert! I'm so sorry.
I've not seen it since April.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. But spoiler was her like literally just. She made them kiss because they were both in love with each other, and then like they're literally all fighting for love.
Oh, the two guys were in love with themselves?
But like they weren't really like telling each other, and they were all in love with her too. It was very like just threesome sex energy. Like she was cheating on her husband, and she had a child with the husband with the other guy's best friend because the best friend wanted them first. They had to bet on her.
She broke her bone at some point.
Yeah, because she was doing tennis. But it was a very good watch, especially if you were like. You're into stuff like that, like very like indie film type vibe. It was just long. It was a lot of grunting, like with the tennis rackets. Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy though. I think it was just because it was a very grown movie for her. That maybe that's why. And then the guys were in like the most attractive on the planet, so it was a very indie, grungy. What is this about kind of vibe? You should watch Challengers though. If you're into weird shit, you should watch it. It's really fun. Donald is not gonna watch it, but I loved it.
Yo, you know me so well.
Also. I survived my first earthquake.
Okay.
That was also in April. New York had a category 4 or 5 earthquake. You guys, let me tell the story. I was literally in bed. I'm sleeping. And I lived at the time on the 52nd floor in my former apartment building. And I'm sleeping, right? And I wake up and I just look and I see my TV shaking. And I'm like, that can't be right. But you know what I did? I thought, oh, my TV feels like it's coming off the wall. I should go check up on it. Why the would I do that? I told you I have 0 survival skills. I went to bed. I said, if this is my time, let me go. Let me go now, Lord. And I went back to sleep. I get woken up like a few minutes later with phone calls from friends. Everyone is like, are you okay? Are you all right? Is anything wrong? I said, what's going on? They said you survived. Survived what? An earthquake. What? An earthquake? Where? This is not LA. And they're like, yeah, New York just had an earthquake. Really? And people were so dramatic. But it happened, and I got up and I realized like my building was actually shaking, and it was because of the earthquake. So I survived my first earthquake. It was a really exciting experience. I don't wish it on anybody. It was honestly terrifying. Like, I survived. I am a survivor.
But it was in that moment that I knew that we're actually different, because light skins didn't feel it. Hot take.
Are you a light skin?
No, I felt it. Anybody that you know who's a light-skinned black person didn't feel the earthquake in the New York area.
That's such a random take, Donald.
No, it's true.
How is that true?
Please write in the comments. Like, I'm telling you.
What?
My girlfriend didn't feel it.
That's crazy.
Billy my other friend didn't feel it.
So you made
No.
such a fucking general
No,
statement.
he was also on TikTok.
This is such a chaotic ass episode, bro.
No, it was
What
also,
the does that mean? You're a madman.
Like,
You want me to get us canceled? What?
No, it's like people actually think that's serious. No, but it was actually a thing. I'm telling you, this is not a conversation about light-skinned people don't feel earthquakes in general. I'm talking about the one that happened. It's like, have you heard about the UFOs in Jersey happening right now?
Stop talking.
But you're talking TikTok.
Also, you guys,
Yo,
that was also the beginning of the talks of TikTok getting banned. And we're still in the talks, and it's the end of the year. And as of this video, January 19, but then they're gonna extend it because they're gonna appeal it, and that's giving them a 3-month extension. So technically, it's gonna be in March. Like, they're probably gonna be trying to extend this for a really long time until they say no to the appeal. I really think it's gonna be banned because India got it banned, and the people just went to shorts. So it's gonna be interesting to see like what we do. I'm not gonna talk about TikTok ban because
China doesn't have Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
But they have something else. But
yeah,
also like
WeChat.
Yeah, but I feel like Americans are too dependent on conglomerates like Facebook and Instagram and those people that like I don't think they're gonna try to make something as cool or new to rival that, because I think they tried that with Threads and it's just different. Like I think TikTok brought a very different perspective to virality and getting known and mass consumption of media that no other algorithm can do. And also because TikTok is just for everybody and anybody. There's no necessarily like a hierarchy. You know what's crazy? Hot take on this. I think the TikTok algorithm works so well because it highlights America's labels and boxes, right? Because your FYP is your For You page, right? Like it's your interest all the time. And the people you allow go viral is a reflection of what the society you're in says. Does that make sense?
Or what you're willing to engage in.
Exactly. Yeah. So when people talk about, when I see hot takes around like, you know, the algorithm doesn't like me, it's not the algorithm. It's society. It's you. You're a reflection of the algorithm because it's what you guys are requesting to be seen that TikTok pulls back to you. It's like a mirror back into yourself. And when I realized that about the app, I think I've started engaging with it a lot differently. And I think that's why it's so different from Instagram and YouTube and everything else. Because I think YouTube is also pretty similar, except YouTube has that lack of like YouTube has more of an intention to building community than TikTok does. Mm-hmm. Because YouTube has, you know, the whole like long form content at atmosphere versus TikTok. Long spiel, random take. We're gonna move on to May. We're almost there. Met Gala happened in May. Nothing really crazy happened in the Met Gala that I remember.
Yeah, it was very mid.
It was very it was okay. Like the Met Gala was fun. My goal is to one day be a host at the Met Gala. So your girl can dream. If Emma Chamberlain and Liza Koshy can do it, Sophie Ibrahim from Lagos, Nigeria, born and raised, can do it too. Speaking that out there. Kendrick Lamar released Not Like Us. That was fun. Bridgerton season 3 came out. And honestly, I didn't watch Bridgerton this year. Really? I watched the first 2. I didn't finish. I watched part 1 of Bridgerton. I didn't watch part 2. But I think it's because I've read all the books. And I think the space between them, which is crazy because it's just a year, it was just not anything for me. I didn't really enjoy Bridgerton like that, which is interesting.
What was part 1?
Part 1 was the white girl and the black guy, and she low-key R-ing him because she SA'd him to get a child. That was the story. Because she laid down and made sure he came in her so she could get pregnant. Oh. Part 2 was the 2 Indian sisters, and then one of them being in love.
You're talking about season 2? Season 3?
I'm saying, what was part 1 is like half of season 3, and then half was released after. Yeah. Sorry, I went to season 1, season 2.
Yeah, but season 1, I remember with the black guy, the guy who never came back. Yeah. And then season 2 was like sisters. Bailey, 3, right?
Jonathan Bailey. I love it. That's how you're identifying these seasons, and then I just go straight to that.
And then season 3 part 1 was the Indian. No, that's part 2.
No, babe. Season 3, each season is about a couple.
So there's season 4.
Season 4 is about
So there's season
Sophia.
4.
It's coming up next year.
No.
There's been 3 seasons. Season 1.
Which one was the one with the girl, the Indian girl?
Season 2.
Oh, because she's Jonathan Bailey's.
Yes. And then season 3 is Penelope. Yes. Are we good?
Yeah. I have something else to say, but I can't say it on camera. Did you know Jonathan Bailey was gay?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You can keep that on camera.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know Jonathan Bailey was gay? Really? Really? I feel like he's hella gay.
I
can definitely tell that. Really?
So I was watching Wicked.
Oh, you're like,
and I was
wait a
talking to my
minute.
sister. My sister was like, oh, like he has a husband or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what?
Really?
And then he can act.
No, he can.
He's a good actor.
He's a
No, because selling that in the that's good.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like he is a good actor though. But yeah, I feel like he's pretty gay.
No, there are a lot of gay men in the industry where like I find out. What's the name of this guy? The black guy. Domingo.
No man that cool is straight. You are kidding me.
So you're saying I'm not cool?
I think you're bisexual.
Hey!
For your sexuality, Donald.
Bisexual is crazy. Bisexual is actually mad.
Four Seasons Orlando, baby, was also in May. Do you want to go to the Four Seasons Orlando? Me! Don't know. Say it so I can do it.
So do it. I never heard this part. This one did not cross my friend.
Really?
I'm like, what is going on?
Who wants to go to Four Seasons Orlando? Me! Yeah. And they talked about, like, I forget what they call them, but, like, conscious babies. Like, babies who, like, feel like they're alive.
But they're not real babies?
Basically, like, conscious baby, I don't think that's the right term. Are babies who, like, you know when you just know that 2-year-old who shouldn't be, like, doing that face, but that child is doing it, like, the child has been here before. That's what it is. Because, like, the child doing, like, a me was very, like, prim and proper. Like, the child has been here, and the child is very conscious of things that are happening. Okay, moving on. And Billie Eilish is crazy. I can't beat the Yoruba girl allegations, babe. If I ever say a word, you guys, and I say, like, Eilish is when I want to say Eilish. That is because my ancestors are from the part of Nigeria that is common, the tribe Yoruba. It's in our blood, in our veins, to always say H. How do you say it? We don't have it in the Yoruba language. So when I see Eilish, I can't help it.
House.
So Billie Eilish dropped Hit Me Hard and Soft. And it was a really good album. I actually went to her album listening party she did at Barclays Center. It was really fun. I went with YouTube. That was exciting. And then June came along, and there was, guess what happened in June?
Your birthday.
My birthday. I turned 27. I went on my first solo trip. I had a great time on my birthday. It was a good time. Hi, cutie.
Who's cutie? I thought it was a solo trip.
Yeah. Oh my God. My favorite thing to do now is have fun when I travel out.
The type of person you are, right?
Mm-hmm. Tell me.
Is someone
Don't say something. God, Donald.
I feel like you travel somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this in me too.
Mm-hmm.
When I was single.
Okay.
You would go somewhere to cause chaos. Like you meet somebody.
Oh my God.
You wreck their life. You make them think that's like, oh my God, they can live their entire world.
I'm telling you, if you're watching this and I've done that to you, I recognize that I'm a bad person. It's the cancer in me. I am so terrible. The strongest people who can last in my life is someone who might have had like a relationship with me, but just recognized immediately that this girl ain't serious. Like this girl is like, if you're able to just stand 10 toes on the fact that, yeah, she's too much of a free bird, except for I don't want to say this. Except for now, like, yeah. Just shut up.
It's a game recognized game.
Period. But that's the thing. I think that if I genuinely shared my history of romantic relationships and sexual relationships, Alex Cooper, you know how like a lot of women, a lot of their methods of like just being like raunchy and fun and crazy and chaotic is usually sexual in nature. Like Alex Cooper got famous for the most part for like, you know, Glock 9000, doing all this fun like escapades with guys, all that stuff. Mine is a lot more emotional, and I think that's where like people talk about like cancers being emotionally manipulative. It's like a lot of my experiences are that. So like for what Donald was saying, like I'm the kind of person who will go on vacation allegedly, and I can meet you allegedly, and I can fall in love because I feel big emotions, and I could love you for those 3 days, and you would never hear from me again. Well, I'm telling you, those 3 days will be the best 3 days of your life, babe. Like,
and I think
I will spoil you rotten.
You know, the thing to add there, right? It highlights a problem in society. That a lot of people are actually like moving with a lot of lack, right? And they settle a lot. Because to be honest, right, it's like if you don't have lack, your world should not be able to be like drifted
in that way
by somebody coming in that way.
No, but I also feel like it's also like me. Like, what are you talking about, babes? I think it's just fun. I am a retired girl. July was Barbie. Was Barbie this year or last year?
It was this year.
That's not true. Barbie was last year. No, it was last year.
Anniversary.
Oh, Trump was shot.
And the Olympics.
Yeah. Oh, duh. The Olympics. That was July. Yo, that is insane.
I'm telling you, time flies.
Right? Yeah, Trump was shot. That I feel like is still a conspiracy theory. Like I feel like that was dramatic.
What, Trump getting shot?
I don't think that was real. Like that felt too like. First of all, no. Yeah. Like it was a bit weird. Like I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but conspiracy. I mean that's a conspiracy.
So this year was weird.
It was such a weird year.
Yeah, and the Olympics. Right? Remember how they opened the Olympics?
Yeah, how?
It was like the Lord's Supper with like.
That was a very interesting. Is that from a religious perspective?
Honestly, I don't know exactly what they were playing. I don't know if it was
like France is very sexual. Like the French.
Yeah, so they were like cross dressers, or was it like a?
Yeah, it was like a whole
drag.
Yeah, it was like I didn't even picture it from that way. I just pictured it from like a celebration of like French culture and French cuisine. Like when I think of French people, I think of sexy, sultry, oozing just vices and inhibitions. And I think that's what the opening ceremony was for Paris. Like it was like a peek into fun inhibitions that I think a lot of American media at the time feels like it's very uptight, right? Like seeing like a drag show or seeing people just like playing around with what like all of those things it could be. I'm trying to be very careful how I say this. I think that was just what it was.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I know.
You lost me at vices and inhibitions.
Because like think about it, and I'm trying to remember if I even watched the opening, but I remember the uproar about like the intro and just like seeing like it was basically like people were kissing and then fighting.
And I think that conversation mostly comes from the right.
Yeah.
I think it was like
this
fighting,
year, they were having sex and they were kissing. It was like a threesome. There was a threesome thing that happened.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a threesome thing that happened in the opening ceremony. And I'm just like, yeah, that's just.
It was very colorful, yeah.
It was very French sex. Yeah, like French kissing. It was like, yeah, it was just, I liked it. I think it was sexy.
Yeah, I think French people are cool.
I like sex. The presidential election race continued. I think that was around the time. When did Biden say he was dropping out? Was that in July? I think so.
I think so.
I think it was also July where he like said he was dropping out and then shit just started hitting the fan. And people were just like, what's going to happen next? Let's move on to August. Because August, I think, was very demure. August was very mindful. August was very just moving around, being very mindful about who you are and what you're going to be. I think that was the energy for August. That's what, if y'all don't know, very demure, very demure, very mindful, right?
That was Brad Summer.
Oh, I didn't care enough to write that down, but Brad Summer was also around that time. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really get it.
Yeah, because I feel like, you know what's funny? I think 2024 was also the year of the resurgence of the white pop star, or like the eclectic white pop star. Because I think, and I say that while also remembering that Sabrina Carpenter is also like there, right? Like, I think Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX, Chappell Roan, like those three being like the top three sort of like artists of the year in that sense, like just white women living their best life in that way and giving them different people to latch onto, like the white girls who like the brats, the white girls or the gays who like, you know, Chappell Roan, and then all the girlies who like Sabrina Carpenter and like the relationship and all that stuff. I think that was, this summer was like white girl summer, for sure. And I'm like, where is the black music? Where's that? Because besides not like us, what else? Like, am I missing something here? Like,
I mean, you have I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Glorilla. That's true. That is true.
And Sexy Red.
Sexy Red was a thing. I saw Sexy Red perform in concert one time. That was a crazy experience for me. I'm telling you, yo, because she performed and right after her was Ice Spice, and two craziest performances I've ever watched. Like, it was just a lot of ass. I loved it. I love butt. But, like, it was just a lot of ass.
She has a lot of personality.
Who?
Sexy Red.
I don't think so.
No, personality in terms of, like, what you're talking about.
No, I mean,
in fact, that's how she...
No. Because even, like, if I honestly... It was just ass.
Have you seen her live?
Okay, maybe she's more this year or maybe last year instead. But I know that when I watch both of them, I think Ice Spice now has been doing a lot of work with performing. When I first watched them, it was very lackluster, except for ass. So it's like a... da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That was it. I'm not joking. I'm not
Why was
joking.
that so spot on?
No, but that was it. I'm Sexy Red to be like, hey, yo, let my girl come here and rap too. The girl will come and and that's it. That was literally it.
Did you do a split?
Yes. And that was it. And then I think now when I think Ice Spice at Coachella, she had a lot more like stage presence. It was like a lot more like, okay, we're gonna get you to where you need to actually perform. Because seeing them versus like a Victoria Monet, and I know it's very different. But like, I think it's also like an age thing. I don't know.
No.
It's just different. Maybe it's just different. Yeah.
I think Victoria Monet.
Because even like if I see like a Meg rapping, Meg also has a lot of stage presence, and like she's putting a lot of work into set design and atmosphere and energy. I think
I have something to say, but if I say
it.
Meg is educated.
I was seeing a video. I don't think it's a lack of education, but we could talk about it.
No, Meg is like, doesn't she have like a master's and stuff?
Well, she does. She went to nursing school, I think.
I don't think like, as much as she wants to shake her ass, she's not going to like.
She's also gonna be she's gonna be strategically about strategically great. She's gonna be strategic about it. I will say, I don't know who it was, and I hate that things are in my head, y'all. I'm forgetful, but there's this conversation that was had between two rappers. They're both light-skinned women, black. Okay. And one of them was talking to the other one. I hate that I don't know who I'm talking about here. But if you know, no, it wasn't Sweetie.
Lato?
It was Lato. And I don't know who she was talking to though. Okay. And she was basically saying now, like, Lato was wishing she finished school. Because she says there's a lot more she could have gotten done if she finished school, because she would have been able to go a lot farther in her career. And when you just said that, it made me think, I was like, I think it's an interesting perspective to be said about strategically placing yourself in the game and knowing how to move, because you can sell like
so wait till you finish school.
Interesting. I see the people you're mentioning and I see how like you never know.
She went to like USC or something like that. And then Megan
also I love when I also love like when I see like rappers like that who finish like, especially went to like HBCUs. I love that. You can tell, yo. You could like an artist who went to an HBCU.
It's so cool.
Yo, just the energy, the intentionality, the vibe is just always so.
You become aware.
Yo,
like you're a lot more aware.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
All right, and then Sabrina Carpenter dropped Short and Sweet, which I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I actually listened to her because I saw her at Golf Ball, and I'm not mad at it. I actually liked her album. I'm not mad at it. It was a really good album. September was Diddy.
I'll make a joke.
Okay, make a joke. Are you Googling the joke to make?
No.
You're so annoying. Make the joke.
Billie Eilish and Sabrina Carpenter were having the conversation. And Billie Eilish said, "Hits me hard and soft." And Sabrina Carpenter said,
"I'll make it short and sweet."
That's a good joke, though.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Diddy was arrested.
Diddy was arrested, and Mudang was a thing on TikTok. Mudang is the hippo, the little baby hippo. I don't know if Mudang is a hippo. What is Mudang?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Mudang is a little like piggy. I don't know. But Mudang was also a thing on TikTok. Diddy got arrested. I have nothing to say about Diddy getting arrested because
I never understood him.
Yeah, like I just don't know. Everything I've heard about Diddy has been, first of all, against my volition. But when I saw everything that's been happening with Cassie, all my thing was like,
it's never been good. First time
I've never had a good
from the music time, from the Tupac time, or even when he had like the making the band. I'm just like, who is this guy? And like, why are these women like dating Kane and like Day 20? And why are you like subjecting yourself to like all of this?
Yeah, no, that's true. We don't fuck with Diddy. We love 50 Cent though. He's a mess. 50's a mess. I love an unapologetic man who's just able to just be nonsense. Yeah. And like own that shit. Snoop Dogg, so random. I'm just calling black rappers.
No, I love Snoop Dogg.
Love Uncle Snoop. The goal is to meet Snoop Dogg and just like be like, hey yo dog. No, that's all I want to say to him.
Hey yo dog.
Hey yo dog.
You have this obsession with dogs.
Okay, don't piss me off. October, New York was. I feel like October was when like everybody's just tired. I think after September Labor Day weekend, the year just starts to go downhill. Not too much, but enough to where like I feel like the year also starts to like just slow down a bit. Like let's not do too much. Let's just focus on next year because January has to get more chaotic. Because Timothée Chalamet did the $500 they did a $500 Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest, and now people are doing all the contests in the world. Because if you don't know, there's a United Healthcare CEO who was just killed. Murdered.
They doing a lookalike contest for that?
They did it of the person who shot him the other day. Society is sick. Like no matter what, I don't know if it's just like a me thing. I just can't celebrate death in the way I think we tend to do now, and I think that's a scary thing for me.
Yeah, it makes me very numb.
It irks me. Like someone was gunned down and we're laughing about it. And yes, I get people are talking about like the people dying in the world and If we wanted to kill the people who were responsible for a lot of the atrocities in this world, everyone will be dead.
Yeah.
Because you in your cozy couch on your iPhone is the reason why their kids, me with my iPad, me with.
If everybody decided to retaliate on like, because it's coming, Because even the people that complain about like
picking and
health
choosing.
insurance.
Picking and choosing. Yeah. Because if we said we don't want these companies to do, and again, I don't know a lot of the policies behind it, then we're gonna say, if we don't want these companies to charge so much for health insurance, okay, then well let's get the state to cover it.
I'm like, bro, why is nobody like, bro, like everyone, all the politicians, nobody has ever come out to be like, everybody's like, oh, free healthcare. Bernie Sanders, the people who talk about free healthcare, they're so far to like, they're so left.
But yeah, we're all talking about how like, oh, United, they don't do insurance. No one wants to pay taxes. You don't want to pay taxes. You don't want higher taxes. You don't, and then you just.
And they say in the club, we all fam.
We're not fam. Okay. That also happened in the club. We all fam. What? In the club, we all fam. What? In the club, we're all family. Are you racist? Love that. I also do not know where that came from. Like, I saw the show, and I still can't tell you the name of the show, but that was a good, fun time on TikTok.
Yeah.
I did it. My video did really well when I did it. Shout out to me. November, Wicked came out in theaters. I have still not watched it.
We need to go.
I need to go. I have not watched it yet. Ariana Grande posted me on her stories because I did a whole trend on TikTok where I like did the whole like, what? What is that? I forgot the trend already. No, they were popular. Right. That trend was really fun. So Wicked came out. I've heard like everyone's been very emotional about it. I really liked it. I also learned that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo were cancers. That explains so much about them crying the entire time during the tour. I'm a Cancer too. I actually don't know if I cry as much. I feel like most of my emotions is like in my body. They don't come out.
I also think like the level of freedom that they probably felt making Wicked was probably something that's
because they're both theater kids. Yeah. Like, and I love when I see people, because I think with social media and stuff, like you're watching me right now, and this is me being so generalizing right now. You're watching me right now thinking, oh, like she has her stuff together. She's doing like a whole podcast. She's sitting here. But you guys, in my head, I am not even a quarter of an inch to where I want to go.
Yeah, scratching the surface. Yeah,
like I have not even,
because that feeling is important, right? That feeling of freedom where you know you're expressing yourself.
Like I think of Ariana Grande as like one of the biggest pop stars in the world.
She also released an album,
and she did, and she was, you could tell like this for her was her like moment. Like this was the dream to do. And even the same thing with Cynthia Erivo too. Like I think of them as like icons, pop stars, and for them to feel this way about things when we're all looking at them like, why are you guys feeling like this is like another movie or another thing for you? And they're like, no, this is their moment. I'm curious to see what my moment would be when it comes. You know what I mean? Like, what is that thing that I think will be my show? Like, if I ever get a daytime TV show, like a hosting, a carpet, a thing, I think that'll be my beginning of, oh, I'm scratching the surface now. I'm almost there. And it was fun. It's cool. The presidential election results happened in November, shook both of us. Me, not really, because I figured I just knew America wasn't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I wanted her to win so bad, but I learned lessons in 2016 and I knew never to trust the American electorate. So Donald learned his lesson the hard way too. We're not going to talk about that too much. Also, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson was also November. That was dumb.
They made money.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could say.
It says a lot about society than
anything else. I feel like I don't know why anybody would have expected anything less.
No, because people say Netflix makes bad shows. They greenlit that thing.
Yeah.
They paid them.
No, but we also people wanted to see that. And I don't understand why you would want
it was the highest viewed Netflix thing in history.
Yeah. The
man is 58.
Is why would he be fighting Japan? Why would you guys think he would win no matter what? That man has been knocked around so much he couldn't win. That happened. And December, as you're watching this, I don't know if anything has happened yet as we're recording this.
Ooh,
but
we ask and we don't judge.
Oh my God, bruv. We listen and we don't judge. We judge. Okay, you guys? Honestly, that felt like the perfect end to 2024. Yeah. Was we listen and the trend, we listen and we don't judge, because first of all, I'm nosy as fudge.
I've seen a lot of crazy ones though.
No, I've seen a lot of crazy ones. I mean, the craziest one I've seen is the guy was standing beside his pregnant wife, and he was telling her how, because they've not been having sex, he actually just pictures himself having sex with other women to satisfy himself. And so that way at least he's not cheating, but he wanted her to know that. And she stood there and she said, we listen and we don't judge. I wanted to hit her. I wanted to kick her.
So I don't know if this was part of it, right? But I saw someone was talking about how a girl who came on Alex Cooper's podcast, and Call Her Daddy, her friend allows her
I saw that too. The threesome-thing. That was
to give her boyfriend a blowjob.
That's the
on
Bechtel
Memorial
girl.
Day.
Yes, that's the Bechtel girl, the one that's like the new whatever. There's some things that I don't think you could wrestle out of me.
You don't have to say it on the internet.
But also, that's not the wildest thing. And maybe it's just the people I'm hanging around with, but if I heard that, yeah, that's like, they're not gonna get married. Like, her and the boyfriend are never gonna last for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like a thing that we know. Yeah, it's information I didn't think I wanted to know, but now I do. And also,
let's do one.
We listen, we don't judge. Okay, for both of us?
Yeah, go.
Okay, we listen and we don't judge.
I once, when I was in university, went to a native doctor's house to help me look for a bank manager that stole my money.
We listen and we don't judge. That's not bad. Did you get the money back?
Oh, I did. They found him. He came, he brought the money to the Babalawo's place.
Okay, that's crazy. We listen and we don't judge. I once got a little bullet dildo stuck in me. We listen and we don't judge. And also, and I think the final thing was the Spotify Wrapped I have ever gotten in my life. What was that?
Okay. What was your Spotify Wrapped?
No, it was fine, but we used to get more information. Like, this felt like they just said, here you go.
Honestly, it had so much design.
It was more design and less actual like data work that I'm used to. First of all, it was late, and then it was just late. It was annoying. I don't know. I was very upset by it. I wanted to know like what was the whole on January this. I was listening to more music then. I didn't care about that information. Why did I care about that? I want to know what genre, what this, how many. I just needed more information and it didn't give it to me. So I was very upset about that. I also don't do Apple Music. So people were like, oh my God, here's our Apple Music, whatever. Shut up.
Apple Music what?
I don't even know what to call it. Unboxed? Is that what they call it? I don't know. I'm a Spotify girl, y'all.
Who was your number one artist?
Kiss Daniel. Okay. Yeah, I'm a very African girl, babes. I hope if you're listening to this and you're not African and you're curious about it, you should keep following me. I am as African as they get, for the most part. Yeah, I love Afrobeats. Like, that's all my lineup was Afrobeats. Kiss Daniel, Ira Star, Ashake, Buju Benson. Yeah, those are my top 5.
Those are top 5?
Yeah, I think so. Let me check. All right, top artists: Kiss Daniel, Ashake, Buju, Ruga, and Ira Star. Yeah, I swear.
Mine is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh yeah, you're such a you
Leslie Odom Jr., Rema, Chainsmokers.
That is interesting. Yeah, we're very like we're on the flip side of the.
I think like music changes for me every year. I get obsessed. I have an obsessive personality.
You do. Also me too. That's why I listen to the exact same people.
Yeah, I don't really like variety.
You don't for sure. All right, you guys, that is the end of our recap of 2024. We missed a lot of stuff. And I want to also be honest in saying that a lot of our rap is definitely American focused. Like, this was a lot of like things that happened in America.
I feel like in Nigeria, like the things that go on in Nigeria and in Africa are very sad.
Oh, don't end it like that.
No, it is. Because like things? I remember like there's certain months where, a container fell on top of a car. Right?
Yeah.
And I also think like there's this relationship with Africa and loss.
Interesting.
So much loss happens. I feel like people don't die as much in America. Or like people that I know. No, I'm not trying to end it sad, right? But when I think about like 2024 from my perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of friends were lost due to very interesting things.
I'll say this. One of the biggest reasons why living in America is something that people talk about immigration a lot, and that was a big issue in 2024. That's why Trump won. But when we talk about immigration and then third world countries and countries who are coming to places like the West for a better life, why you see immigrants running to places like Europe, right, and all that stuff, it's because of safety, right? It's because of a higher level of life that you get when you're not home. And the fact is, the only reason why our lives are less in our homes is because of the structures that have been put in place by colonial powers. Like, not to get a little bit nerdy with you, but that's essentially what it is. When the entire world is taking from the people, that's essentially what ends up happening, right? Like, your people are going to suffer, and that's what's going to reflect in how the lives and the populations of people are. So when you hear people jakba is the word. If you don't know what jakba means, it means to like leave home essentially. And over the past 5 to 10 years, you've seen an exodus of so many talented people leaving what is essentially their homes for a new life in Canada, in America, in China, and so on, because of this idea that you cannot survive life back home anymore because the structures in place you've reached your peak, you've reached the cap. Like, the only way to survive is to play into the game. And for a lot of people, like, they've played and they've played and played and they can't play anymore. So when you talk about loss, I get that, because even when I see how incredibly successful people are across the world with what they're given, even like content creators, like when I see the arts and all that stuff, I also, like, I reflect so much, like, oh my God, like, for you to be able to create such incredible things through adversity and through what you're going through, it's really, it's sad, but it's also like hopeful. Like, the capabilities are there. It's also just you're having to fight. If you're a Black in America and you say you're fighting twice as hard, imagine what it is to fight 50 times as hard and still not even get to any ceiling that you could imagine. So we're not gonna end that there because that's very heavy. But that was 2024 in a nutshell, from two immigrants chasing their dreams in the city that never sleeps, New York. This podcast is a labor of love. It is a moment in time when me and Donald are able to just sit and yap and talk, and you guys listen. And I don't know where it's going, but I'm really, really excited for 2025 because there is no other podcast like this.
Yeah.
Like, I am so sure of it. Like, there isn't anywhere. And the level of fun, spontaneity, randomness, oddities that you would encounter in this podcast is something that I pride myself on, because yes, I want to talk about how I got a dildo stuck in my fucking vagina. I also want to talk about how, yeah, like, the cost of lives living in Nigeria really unfortunate versus the lives living in New York. I want to talk about immigration. I want to talk about the presidency, the United States presidency. I want to talk about, Donald wants to talk about Not Like Us and Cam and Kendrick and Drake. You know what I mean? Like, I think life is never about boxes. Life is all about nuances and layers and fun things in between. And I think that's why My Too Loud is. It's a space where we're able to do all the fun things we're doing. So happy holidays. Merry Christmas again if you're celebrating. Thank you for listening to this episode of Am I Too Loud, the podcast. I will see you next year. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully, we end the year at 5,000 subscribers. I think we can do that. All right, y'all. I love you guys so much. We'll see y'all in my next video next year. Bye, guys.